Are bed corners and bed making still important in modern day nursing? Let's talk about it. For a little bit of quick background, you can pause to read. Alexa, how many years ago was 1972?
52 years ago.
Alexa, when did Florence Nightingale open her Nightingale School of Nursing?
July 9th, 1860.
Alexa, how many years ago was 1860?
164 years ago.
I think it's safe to say that in the last 164 years and in the last 52 years, that nursing, patients, and healthcare in this country in general have changed and shifted quite a bit. First of all, they do still teach bed making in nursing school, and students are still graded on how perfect, prim, and proper their bed corners are. In the real world, nobody important is judging your bed corners anymore. Not to mention that evidence-based practice says that bed corners are not necessary or beneficial to the patient and actually recommend that nurses focus on patient safety and comfort rather than how the bed looks to somebody who's literally not even in it. Have you ever been in a bed made with hospital corners? Because it's not comfortable. You can barely move. It's extremely restrictive. Honestly, it's a borderline restraint. I have literally seen a patient yeet themselves out of a bed trying to untuck the sheets that were tucked under the mattress. Do I think that bed making is important in nursing? Yes, but not in the same capacity that Florence Nightingale did. I think it's important that your patient's bed is clean and that there's nothing that's going to cause them any pressure injuries and that they are comfortable, but do I think how their bed looks is important? No. We also don't need to be making a patient's bed in order to assess them correctly. Is cleaning up your patient and changing their bed a good opportunity to do your assessment? Absolutely. But we are constantly assessing our patients. A great RN is assessing their patient every single time they go into that room, whether the patient knows they're doing it or not just when they're making their bed. It is literally insane to suggest that if a nurse didn't learn how to properly make a bed in nursing school, that they will never be a great RN. Also, proper bed corners have always been an indicator of how obedient you are, not how good of a nurse you are. And, at least in my area of nursing, patients are leaving their rooms 10 different times a day to go to test procedures and scans, and 9 times out of 10, we are remaking and tidying up that bed for when they get back. If all of your other duties and patients are taken care of, your unit's not on fire, and you have the time to make sure your patient's bed is prim and proper, then yeah, go for it. But should you ever prioritize bed making over important nursing care and interventions? No. But anyway, yes, I do think that bed making is important, just not anywhere near as important as it was to Florence Nightingale 164 years ago. And yes, I do understand and recognize the assessments that can be made while doing those non-vital activities. But as a nurse in the 21st century, I know how to do those assessments outside of making my patient's bed. But Bridget, it is time for you to stop talking down to nurses that are younger than you and that learned differently from you, because we learned differently for a reason. Hope that helps.